Hey everybody. What is poppin', lockin', booty droppin'? That used to be my intro. I used to always say that to people. So, hi everybody. Let me just fix my camera and then we can get started. And I'm gonna save this onto IGTV. So if you missed the beginning, then you can go back and watch. And let's do this. So, let's see. Today's Monday, and my intention for this, or the idea that I had for this reading today, was for the week ahead, which is really beautiful. And then I went into this like really intense mode of like, okay, so let me make sure that I have like what I want to talk about and have everything all, set up, which is totally my Virgo mind. But every time I went to go do that, I would just start channeling and all this information, and then I would get overwhelmed because, I would get all this information, like, how am I supposed to condense this down? And then I got the message, because you're not. So my intention for this is to definitely get the vibe of the week, but also just to ask a couple questions. So before we begin, I would like to set a sacred space, which that's a fluffy word for, I just want to set an intentional space. I just want to set a space of like, hey, everyone that's hopping on live, let me just let you know these are the parameters of what we're working with. You feel me, dog? And so in that way, it's more powerful. And we can do that in all areas of our lives. So if you're on and you're able to, please find your butt or your feet or wherever you are and just take a moment to take a nice deep inhale through the nose and a nice deep exhale through the mouth. One more just like that. Deep inhale through the nose. Nice deep exhale through the mouth. So my intention today is for us to listen with our minds and with our ears, but also listen with your body. So when I say that is I'm going to be, channeling, pulling cards, talking about the vibe, and having a conversation. And when I say that I want you to listen with not just your mind, but also with your body, it means when certain things are said or heard, check in with your body as well. And when spiritual people talk about if this resonates with you, it's for my definition of my map of reality is that's what it means. Is like, not only do I maybe logically agree or I'm looking at it logically, but does my body feel comfortable and does it feel good when that is said? Or does my body feel tense and like, oof, that's not it? So I invite you to be discerning for yourself around what is good for you and what's not. And see, this is what happens. I always talk about how I'm going to shorten these videos, but then I get on here and I start chit-chatting with y'all and things just start to roll out. So just rock with me. Okay. All right. So I have a question for you all. And I want this to be a communication and a conversation. So the last video, pretty much I've been on this thing around judgment and discernment, and I went to this whole spiel and all this stuff around like what's the difference between judgment and discernment. And for me, judgment from a negative or not so helpful standpoint is when we get stuck, and discernment is when we find that resonance place or decide if we agree with something or not, and then having the option to make a choice, right? So beautiful, so exciting, worked with that all last week. And then this week, a specific word came into my mind, and that is authority. So I just want you to take a moment and notice when I say the word authority, what are the associations that come to mind? What comes up for you when you hear the word authority? And what does authority mean to you? So that's the question that I really want to play with on this live today as we move forward, because I realize that to be able to make a choice, you have to be in tune with your inner authority. That inner authority, and AKA your power, like when people are like, step into your power, that used to annoy me so much because I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? And when I heard power, I would either attribute control or authority, which both of those words kind of had like a yucky vibration to it for me, right? In the past, which was really hard. It's like step into your power, and then all of a sudden I feel like I'm like controlling and manipulating other people, or I am like authority over something, and that had like a really weird energetic vibration, right? It means leadership, knowledge on a topic, etc. That's beautiful. See, that's an amazing. So for me, it wasn't so pretty. It was like the authority meant that I was on top of someone or controlling someone else. Literally all authority must be questioned, especially our own, as we don't always see things clearly. Interesting. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so I wanted to go into that, and I wanted to talk about that for this week. And please feel free to reach out. Again, I'm not here to tell you what's right and what's wrong, because no one can do that. It's more so to open a conversation for you to start to look inside and be like, what does that mean to me? And start to really understand your map of reality. And for me, that's what authority is. Authority, your inner authority is, for me, my inner authority is the one who makes decisions and choice. And I really like what you said, to question it, and not question it from a place of if it's right or wrong, but question it from a place of really tuning in. And so when we have that and we strengthen our inner authority as we tune in and really know what it is that we would like, the more we strengthen that inner authority, and the more we can decide to make choices and keep creating. When we don't exercise our inner authority, or at least from my experience, and I get stuck of like, is this right? Is this wrong? I just kind of stay stagnant, when really there is no right and wrong. There's just making choices and then allowing life to unfold the way it does. Like, the universe wants to co-create with us, but we have to do our part. And part of our part is making choices, right? And making choice from the inner authority of what feels good for us. Like I said at the beginning of this video, like really, really you tuning in to see what resonates with you and what doesn't. And to be able to discern and make choice around that is to be with our inner authority. If it's making sense, please give me some thumbs up. And again, this is just all coming from my guides, my magic, my map of reality. And I would love to hear what's happening on your map of reality so that we can expand our experiences as humans. That's my intention. And better communicate with one another, because if I say a word and it has a whole meaning and then you see the same word but it has a whole different meaning, like, how do we really understand each other when we're not really feeling where we're at? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm gonna get to the cards because my magic's like, stop with the chit chat. So this week I want to talk about authority and inner authority, and what does that mean, and what does it mean to make choice, and I have my little notes here. Authority is your right to create as a human on this planet, which we all have, on my map of reality. So I really wanted to talk about that. And then I feel like that's going to come up a lot because we planted seeds on the new moon, right? So the new moon just happened, and this is kind of how I work. So for me, I plant seeds on the new moon, and the seeds aren't always super clear. Like, the moon is dark, it's dark in the sky, so there's like a fogginess that comes to it too. Like, I'm planting seeds because I'm like, okay, I know what I want, but the how and the when and all that kind of stuff, we can't see that yet. It's dark and cloudy, right? So after the new moon, right now we're in the crescent moon, this is when we start to kind of see I think about the new moon as like the dark moon, right? So you can't really see, and you're planting seeds in the dark. You plant seeds of what it is that you want, but you have no idea how it's going to play out. You have no idea how that's going to happen, and you're just kind of in the dark. And the crescent moon, there's like a little sliver, and there starts to become light. And so what happens for me as I move through the moon cycle is I plant the seed, and then opportunities show up with those seeds. And so this week, I really wanted to talk about inner authority and authority, because when those opportunities come up and those abundance comes up, and or the shadows come up, the things that are like, hey, you need to deal with me before these seeds really grow, right? Tuning into our inner authority to be able to make choice is so powerful and so potent. And so really understanding what is your inner authority, how do you make choice? I keep getting the image of like a stag, right? And the stag is the symbol of leadership and authority. Like Marilee said, I love it so much because there's a sense of leadership that comes with authority. People who are in their own power and authority and start to make decisions and make moves, automatically people look to them as leaders. When you make a decision, and it's not always about what's the right or wrong decision, because there's not really a such thing. It's just kind of like what feels best to you. And then in that moment, trusting yourself enough to make a decision, right? So there's like a self-mastery, there is self-trust, there's self-care, and there's listening that happens to be in your own authority to make decisions. And when you do that, you step into leadership. And now that doesn't, when I say leadership, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're leading, a whole bunch of people. You're really just becoming the leader of your life, right? You're stepping into the awareness that you have a right to make choices and choose what it is that you want with your life and your life force energy, right? So as we move towards the full moon, because we rock with like new moon, full moon, plant seeds, let go, plant seeds, let go. So right now we're in the crescent moon today, and so it's like there's a little sliver of light. Things are starting to come up, and so what I really am here talking about is it's time to make some decisions, right? And decision making doesn't have to be scary. There's so much I want to say. I'm just going to let it go. When you step into your inner authority, you're able to make choices. And when you make choices and decisions, it gives the universe more to play on, more to play with. When you make a decision, when we hold ourselves back from deciding or choosing what it is that we want, we stay stagnant, and the universe is like, okay, we're just gonna stay right here with you and wait for you to make a decision, because when you make a decision, then we can like start sending more stuff into your life. But if the universe is sending stuff and we see opportunities and we see, different things, abundance, shadows, whatever it is, when it comes our way, but we don't make a decision, we kind of give up our authority in creating the life that we want. And so really cultivating our inner authority this week and making decisions. And that doesn't mean it has to be rushed. Like I'll get offered something and I'll be like, cool, I'll let you know. And then it'll take me a week, and I'll probably have a week of like shadows and like what ifs and oh my gosh, can I do this? But all of those things come up, those shadows come in to be worked with so that you can strengthen your inner authority and then make the decision, not for you to get stagnant. So this week, as abundance starts rolling in because you just planted your seeds, let's really step into our creational authority. NLP Marin, Carl Buchheit talks about that. Our creational authority in making decisions and moving forward and becoming a leader of our own lives and a leader of our life force energy. And to me, that's freedom. I had this whole weird past life thing that like my life doesn't belong to me. Like I don't have choice because my life doesn't belong to me. That ain't true. That's some wound shit. So now I'm going to pull some cards for the week. And again, this is a conversation. If anything comes up for you, let me know. If you have a different definition of inner authority, let me know. If this reminds you of something else, let me know. La 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 la, reading things. Maybe we're not meant to see, otherwise we would project on it and instead just need to allow spirit to work its magic. Amen. Hallelujah. Exactly. We plant seeds in the dark because we're kind of like, we're throwing in our mix, right? We're throwing in like our, like, okay, these are my desires and my wants and this is what I'm working towards. But if we saw exactly how it was going to play out and everything like that, one, that wouldn't be much of a creative process, and two, it wouldn't let spirit work its magic, right? So we're throwing our desires into the soil, but then the soil and the earth has its own set of rules and authority. And so as we move forward and different things come up, we get to make choices. And there's no right or wrong choices. And I want to say that because I know people will be right and wrong, man. That whole duality has fucked us up. There's right and wrong, but it's within us. Like, does my body and my butthole get tight and nervous and scared and all weird when I think about that, or does my body relax, right? And then the deeper level of, okay, when my body gets all scared and nervous, is it because it's something new and it could be like really great? Or is it because it's actually not right for me? And like, that is my biggest intention and goal with all the things that I do, is just helping and supporting and guiding people into the communication with themselves being so strong that they know how to have authority and make decisions. They'll know what's right for them, because they'll feel it and they trust themselves and they trust their knowing. We all have knowing. Okay, so for this week, I don't even know the date, today's the 25th to next Monday, whenever that is. How can we better step into our inner authority, and other advice that's here? We'll start there. Okay. That. One, the first thing that I got is like, there is a lot of root and sacral chakra energy. Root, sacral, and like pretty much the lower chakras. And we've been talking about that. Is June 1st. Perfect. Next Monday is June 1st. So from now to June 1st. Okay. So when we're talking about inner authority, right, and power, the first thing that we got is the Knight of Wands. And that's fire. Then the next card is the King of Pentacles. Yeah. And the next one is the Emperor. And when I pulled that card, honestly, the message that I got was the Emperor's coming. So whatever that means to you, the Emperor is coming. So asking the question, how can we step more into our internal authority, our inner authority, so that we can make decisions? And as we make decisions, it allows for more to come into the more decisions that we make, the more new opportunities, abundance, and different things come into our field, right? And so as we worked with the New Moon in Gemini, we're stepping into our sleigh and releasing judgment and coming into ourselves. Now we get to really practice, what does that mean? Right? And I think that's what's coming up for me, is when I say like, oh, I'm gonna step into my sleigh and I wore my wig and everything, and that's beautiful and that's that. And my sleigh is when I'm in my inner authority, in my inner strength, and being able to be discerning. So for these three cards this week, it is be on the quest for what lights you up and your passion. Allow yourself to focus in on grounding and your body. How can you be an individual and a part of the whole? And I'll explain that. And the last thing is, as you're making decisions, keeping in mind there's like two tiers to check in with this week. The first tier, or the first thing, like I keep seeing a triangle. Maybe the cards are like this. Yeah. So the first thing is check in with, is this going to support me on my quest for my passion, for what lights me up, for my magic? Can this support me on my quest for passion? Will this support me in my quest for my inner fire? Will this support me in cultivating more inner fire? In cultivating more confidence? In cultivating more authority, an inner authority? Will this thing, and I'm asking a bunch of questions because I want to start to shift the paradigm around tarot cards just being about fortune telling. And I want it to really be like, I'm just gonna ask questions and only you can answer those for yourself. So this Knight of Wands is like, yo, what's really important right now is your inner fire, your inner passion. I keep getting like solar plexus energy. So your inner authority, your sovereignty, will this decision bring you more opportunities to exercise your inner authority and your passion? Right? So that's what the Knight of Wands is like. Yeah, and will it be fun? Because again, at the beginning, I was like, when I thought about authority, I'm like, oh, someone's trying to control me and authority figures, and I had a problem with it. But really, it's like, oh, I'm my own authority. And to me, authority means I'm able to make decisions. And sometimes it's serious, but also sometimes it's like, no, my inner authority is following my passion, and it has like this beautiful ability to make decisions because there is a goal, there is an outline, there's a structure of passion that I'm moving towards. Then the other thing that we can check in with as we cultivate more of our inner authority, and the Emperor came out, and I feel like this year is a 4 year, so much Emperor. It's more of like, how can this support my passion and moving towards more inner authority and making choice? And will this choice also help me in creating the foundation of what it is that I would like? Is this helping to set up a foundation of some kind? And again, I said that the thing that came up was like, I'm getting so hot. And maybe that's it. It's like fire energy. Like the Emperor is coming, my dog. Maybe this, oh my gosh, I'm going to say this. Women. I have okay, so men, I'm so happy that you're here, and I hope that this supports you because I truly believe that this can support any human being. We're talking about internal exploration, asking questions, and understanding inner authority, which is a very masculine trait, right? Like, that's what, like, the Emperor is here, we've got a knight and we've got a king, like very masculine energy. And so that inner authority is that. And so this is for men, and I hope that this is useful, but my passion, like what I'm moving towards, is I really love to support women on these kinds of journeys and really understanding that. So there's a couple messages coming through, and one of the messages, the Emperor is coming, like, women, get ready, because there's going to be some emperors coming your way. There's going to be some divine masculines coming your way. And so staying in your inner authority and making sure you understand that you have choice, that you choose, you don't get chose, is going to be really, really important. And I don't say that from a sense of like, men ain't shit, you know, right? That's like very old paradigm. It's more of really, really listening to your womb space and understanding that you have choice and making sure you're coming from your inner authority to meet your divine masculine within you. When the divine masculine comes, you're meeting him with the divine masculine within you that is being cultivated by your divine feminine this week. And I never talk about love because I had such a really weird thing around it. I never want it. When people come to me and they're like, relationship, I'm like, I'm the wrong one, honey. But that's what wants to be said. So we're going to leave that there. I'm going to open the window because I'm getting super hot. Okay. Let's see. As you're reading my solar plexus, it feels like there's daggers in it. So what I want to say on that is definitely reach out to me personally, for you specifically, because I don't want to do that all in live. but I will give a message from that. And as we cultivate our inner authority, which is very masculine, and for women, who I'm also speaking to here specifically towards the women and divine feminines, or who identify as divine feminines, and I even hate saying divine, feminine, masculine. We're all divine, so just feminine energy. And I want to find new words. I will do it. But okay, when we start to cultivate our inner authority, which is what we're talking about this week, which is our ability to choose, our understanding that we have a right to choose, that we are our own inner authority and controlling, discerning system. Women, when we do that, and it is not coming from a place of logic, but coming from a place of heart, and coming from a place of our bodily wisdom, our womb wisdom, right? We use our intuition to cultivate our inner authority, not our logic to cultivate our inner authority. In the past, that was not accepted. So when we have those kinds of things, there could be some past trauma. You could be picking up on energy from the past. And so this is a really beautiful opportunity to take care of that within yourself. And I can definitely support you. So that's why I wanted you to reach out personally, right? I don't want to explain how we can do that, but that's what I feel is coming up in this reading, is like there's a lot of masculine energy, and we can cultivate masculine energy through feminine knowing. They support one another, right? And so it can be challenging when we've been taught to do it one way through control and manipulation, when really we can do it from another way, which is through tuning and going inside and checking in with your body and your internal guidance system. I feel it's about boundaries with self and with others. Which part? The daggers part or the, sorry, I missed when you put it. Okay, so I'm going to continue with this reading. Kind of got off subject, but that's okay. So that's the first one. So how can we check in with our inner authority, our inner masculine energy, right? How can we check in with that while also keeping in mind and allowing the navigation system to ask ourselves two questions. One, is this supporting my quest for my passion? She getting it? And I love it because in this deck, the Knight is a woman. So it's like the authority energy. The authority energy is about boundaries. Yes, I love that. An inner authority. Yes, okay. So boundaries. Boundaries are super important, and that's what I mean by choice. We get to choose who is in our energy and who is not. What is in our energy and what is not, without having to make anyone right or wrong, but just choosing and knowing what is right for us. Like parenting myself with fun, but with responsibility. Yes, amen. I love it. Responsibility. All these words, for me personally, that used to be really scary, is like authority, control, responsibility. What else? Power was scary. Step into your power. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Does that mean that I'm going to start punching people in the face? Like, no, okay. So these are all words that are going to, may possibly come up this week that we want to work with. Okay, moving on. I could go on for days, y'all. I love this shit. So, is this helping me move towards my passion? And is it helping me move towards the foundation, right? If we're someone who are very creative, artistic, more leaning towards feminine, and again, not female or male, but just leaning towards more of that free-flowing energy, then the idea of foundation and structure is like, fuck. And that's in the past, right? So I wanted to really explain this and go deeper in this, because the Emperor, look at this. Look at this handsome devil out here making strategy. Out here with his peace, you know what I'm saying? Just chilling, sitting on, I want to say this is Mars, sitting on Mars, taking action, but not taking action. It's like he's sitting on action, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm calling him in, right? The Emperor's coming, y'all. So I want to say that this is really important, because that was energy for me that was very, very intimidating. And I really thought that I needed a man in my life, because then he could do all that stuff and I could just do me. But in that, I didn't cultivate my own inner authority, which is my own inner masculine, which is my own inner emperor, right? To be able to make decisions and make choices that were in alignment with my passion, and alignment with my right and my authority and my life force energy and where I wanted it to go. So that's when we talk about we give our power away. And that very like fluffy words for me, that's like, oh, when I give my power away to someone is I'm not tuning into my inner authority to make choices. I'm like, no, you choose. Italian or Chinese? No, you choose. Knowing damn well I want Italian. Right? So, inner authority. When things start coming our way, as we start moving towards the seeds that we're planting and the universe is like, okay, here you go. When we tune in to see what is our inner authority saying, we can ask ourselves, is this going to move us closer towards our passion and what matters to us? And really just moving towards spirit. What is our spirit and our essence saying? That's the fire energy, right? And then the other side is this supporting the structure and foundation of what the seeds I planted? For example, let's think of an example. So say you get a job offer, right? And you're not sure if you want to take the job offer or not, right? You're calling in abundance and all this kind of stuff, but the seed that you planted is about you having your own business. Yet when you tune into your own inner authority, you're like, okay, but I also need funds to start that business, right? So then you ask yourself, okay, is this moving me closer towards my spirit and my passion? It might not be the exact same field, but I'll have more opportunity to learn skills and tools that I need. So in a way, yeah, it moved me closer towards my passion, inner authority. Awesome. Great. Now the job comes in. Now also, is this supporting the structure and the foundation of what the seeds that I planted? Okay, tune in. Yes, it does. This job has this and this and this perks. It really helps to support me. I'm moving towards buying a car or that new thing or that new camera for my stuff, or you know what I'm saying. I can't give every example in the world, but you know what I'm saying. So those are two questions to really ask yourself. And so when we do that and we tune in and ask those questions, yes, no, maybe, kinda, I don't know, all those things, all those answers are totally fine, right? That's when we can move into the King of Pentacles. So I pulled, which I'm going to pull one in a second because I think that's really important. I've been working with the Earth Warriors deck a lot lately because I have been feeling and tuning into the earth. Like, obviously she needed a break. There's a lot going on. It's been really helpful to tune into nature as a metaphor, but also actual nature. And there is a card that I continuously pull, and it is about the wolf spirit. And so it's really interesting that we have the wolf spirit here, because the wolf is about being able to work in a pack while also being extremely independent. So the King of Pentacles asks us one more question. When I see the King of Pentacles in this situation as we're working with inner authority and inner masculine energy, and I feel like that's why it's been very like questions, yes or no, let's get it, right? It feels really good. Healthy masculine. Whew. The King of Pentacles asks us the question, will this benefit? This is it. It looks like this, right? Does this support when information's coming our way? Does this support my passion, my essence, and moving towards spirit? Yes or no? Does it support the foundation and the structure of the seeds that I planted? Will it support what it is that I'm working towards? And these kind of go together. And the part of you that's asking that question is the King of Pentacles. And the question that he asks after he tunes in and says, Is this something that is a benefit to me in my inner authority? If both those answers are yes, then the King of Pentacles asks the question, and then how can this support the community around me? So it's this beautiful energy of the wolf, which is the lone, we hear the lone wolf. You go off and you do your own thing, and you have your own individuality, your unique magic, all this kind of stuff. You tune in, your cup fulleth, and then the last question that the king asks when you step into that authority and you really create that leadership, that's why I kept seeing the stag at the beginning of this video, is when you step into leadership, then you can ask, and how does this support my community? But you cannot ask that question until you've answered the internal authority questions of, is this supporting me? So, I feel, a couple things, like I feel like this is a message for everyone for sure, and there's a lot of masculine energy here when we're talking about authority and choice and taking action, because that's a masculine, very yang energy, fire energy. But I also want to say that my passion is moving with women and really helping and supporting women in deciphering this, and not just women, but people who identify as leaning more on the feminine spectrum. So to the women who are moving through their feminine beautifulness, how can you cultivate more masculine authority and energy within yourself through the feminine lens? We tune into our bodies, our womb space, not just from the intellect, but from the whole of us, and we ask ourselves those questions. We step into our authority, our inner authority, and we ask the question, does this serve my purpose, my passion, and where it is that I'm going? Does it help to create structure and foundation for the seeds that I have planted? And then the last question, after you've asked those two questions and got a bodily yes or no, then you ask the question, okay, now that I know that this will support what it is that I'm planting and what it is that I need, then you can ask the question, and how can this serve my community? How can this serve my partner? How can this also serve the people around me? How can this serve my babies, my children? And if you are a man, same thing. How can this support my family? How can this support my community? And that is the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles. Pentacles is earth energy. It can be finance, it can be health, but it also can just be the body and who you're being, right? And so we can only give of our finance and our abundance if it's monetarily in the physical form, but also energetically that way. We must first step into our inner authority and make choice and make sure that it's supporting us first before we can support another. So that is how we are moving this week. How can we step into our inner authority more lovingly, compassionately, more gently if necessary, or even more tough and strongly if necessary? Again, if this resonates with you, awesome. If it doesn't, awesome. My only intention is that you tune in to see if it resonates with you or not. And by doing that, my work is done, right? We all get to really see what's right for us instead of just being bombarded externally. We get to really say, what do I want? Does this decision support this? Yes or no? And then make a choice and then keep moving forward, right? We can't always get stuck and stagnant in decision making, because when we get stuck in that place and we ask for advice, which is beautiful, and we can always ask for support, but at the end of the day, we always come back to our inner authority and our inner power, which is our inner masculine energy that is discerning. It is not judging, right? Not judging in the kind of judging that I talked about in my last video, which is the inner critic that just beats you up, but discerning in understanding that you have a right to make choice and you have a right to do whatever you want with your life force energy, right? And it's not the adolescent, I can do whatever I want with my energy, so I'm just going to do this because I said. No, it's the maturing, and that's the stag, right? That's the leader. It's the maturing of, I'm going to tune in. I'm going to step into my inner authority and inner power. I'm going to ask myself, does this support my passions and moving towards spirit? Yes or no? Does this support the foundation and structure of what it is that I'm building? Yes or no? And from that place, how can we then step into, not only does this support me and I'm discerning and making a choice, but when I make this choice, how will it affect my community, my family, and everyone around me? Divine masculine coming through. Woo, 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 woo. Right? And then another card flipped out while we were doing that. And it was the Magician, which I love. The Magician is the one who is able to use all of the elements, which we kind of have here. We have a lot of fire and earth energy popping off. But also we can understand that the Magician is not just a masculine energy. It uses all of the elements to inform. So when I say step into your inner authority, you're checking in with your body, you're checking in with your emotions, you're checking in with your heart, you're checking in with your mind. You're getting all of that into this place of alignment, and then you focus your energy in being discerning and making choice, and in doing all of that kind of stuff, which happens all internally, which is fucking profound. You become the Magician. The ability to focus your internal energy, all elements of your internal energy, is what helps you to co-create and create the life that you want. And so this week, when we just planted the seeds with the new moon, this week is going to be about structure and foundation and feeling into that masculine. And like I said, like if you are a feminine on this planet, who I am here passionately to serve, that is my purpose, that is I want every woman to be rocking like this, right? Also know that this emperor energy, this like beautiful divine masculine energy, can be coming your way. That can look into opportunity, that can look and an energy, and that can also look in a person. And so we get to meet whatever that divine masculine energy that's coming our way, be it a person, an energy, a partner, whatever. We get to meet it with also our internal masculine energy, which is the ability to choose. We choose, women. We align ourselves with our inner fire and our inner magic that is cultivated by the feminine to have more choice. And really, that's everyone. When we really break it down. But I have a passion for women and people who have wombs. So that is the message. I'm going to leave us off with a Earth Warrior Oracle. And again, if this resonates, dope. If it doesn't, dope. Either way, holler at me. Let me know. I'm down to have a conversation. This is what comes through my internal landscape. And I always love to see if it resonates. And if it doesn't resonate, I also like to hear when and why and how and different perspectives, because then it expands my map of reality. The Emperor's coming, y'all. And what form that takes in your life, oh, that makes me feel so good, because I know there's so many women out there, and we're calling in our mates, and we're calling in our partners, and we're calling in that divine masculine energy so we can lean even more into the Empress. Woof. Right? But don't be discouraged when it doesn't come in the form of a romantic partner. Know that it can come through as an opportunity. Know that it can come through as an energy. Know that it can come through a friend. Know that it can come through in so many different ways, and utilize that energy, meet that energy with your own inner authority so that it can support you. Amen. Hallelujah. Ashe. Knowing how to meet the masculine with our inner authority and our inner masculine is one of the most powerful things that we can do. how we can continue to create from a feminine way. The masculine is not bad. It is the other half to the whole. It is the yang to our yin. Within you, without you, in nature, and in the world. Because to be honest, I'm done with this man versus women thing. It is so tired. So tired, so old. I'm shifting into a new reality, and I recognize and know that it has taken me time to heal a lot of things. And I don't mean that to be a trigger warning to, move any quicker through your trauma than you need to. That's not that. I just want to know that I'm holding the light and the vision where men and women meet each other with honor and respect. Amen. Okay. Earth Warriors Oracle. Let's see what we want to leave this beautiful week with. Ooh! Well, we're just going to do these two, even though a lot more came out. And I just want to say, I talked about it in the video, Clan of the Wolf Heart, we are the ones we've been waiting for. It came out, and that's what I was talking about, because we have that guy and this guy, two of the wolves. And I'm not going to read this card because there's other two that came out, but this is the card that I was talking about, and that is a beautiful thing. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Step into your internal authority and power and make decisions from that place. We don't need to wait on anybody else. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Okay, I'm going to not do that, but... Okay. First, we have horse medicine, medicine of the horse, which is beautiful. Amen. And I don't know why amen. My ancestors are coming through. I think they went to church, y'all. It was like gospel or something because I keep... It's so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. And the next one is the Sorceress of Light. Okay. So, horse medicine. Earth Warriors deck. Progress on the path. I am medicine horse, bringing you the message of freedom, journey, and progress. Do not act as though you are a beast of burden. Claim your innate divine dignity. Allow yourself to feel and be graceful. Recognize and honor your needs for rest, openness, safety, and respect. An ability to hear, know, and feel spiritual truth, which will guide you in every aspect of your life journey, is opening up. Connect with your spirit and live your truth. So good. And then the last one that we have here is Hayaka, Sorceress of Light, which looks like this. No enemy shall defeat you, not by night nor by day, not upon the earth nor in the soul. You are divinely protected and empowered. You shall fulfill your destiny with joy in your heart and laughter in your belly. Play, be in nature. Feel the freedom of happiness within you even in this moment. These are your sacred powers, and with them you shall take every step upon your journey successfully, and nothing shall thwart your divine destiny. Beautiful. So if you're just hopping on, I'm actually about to hop off, but please go back and watch the replay. I'm going to be adding it onto my IGTV. And today we talked about divine masculine energy and how important it is for everyone, and how we can step into that really healthy masculine is through stepping into our internal authority, which is the understanding and knowing and feeling in ourselves that we have the right to make choices in our lives, that there are no right and wrong choices. There are only choices that come from a place of inner knowing, and how we can do that is to ask ourselves questions around, will this support our growth or not? Will this support the journey that I'm on or not? And by doing this internal work before we take action, right? Going internal through the feminine and the internal awareness to then take action, masculine energy, is what allows us to become more of the magician in our lives, right? And then we are leaving off with horse medicine, that we're having progress on the path to step into our divine dignity and freedom and move towards our truth. And then also we have sorceress of light, Hayaka, which is like, you're protected. There's no need to be fearful of the right or wrong, or what will someone think, or what is that person going to say. Is like, no. And it's okay to feel those things, right? We haven't all the time. That's why making decisions can be hard. But when we start to train ourselves and practice, where's my inner authority and inner power coming from? Boom. That is where we can truly make sound decisions for ourselves, for our lives, and our energy. One of my beautiful colleagues, we had a session this morning, and she said something so beautiful, and it was just, what do you want to do with your life energy? The energy, the life force that pumps through you, what would you like to do with it? Thank you, Mary. CheetahBomb.com. So, have a beautiful, beautiful week. This was for the week of May 25th to the 31st and or the 1st. And I will see you next week with the vibe. And I'll probably be going live this week about other topics. But here we are. Love you all so much. If you have any questions or you have anything, please comment. If you know anyone who would be benefit from hearing from this, please send it to them. What else? Yeah, I've got offerings if you want to go deeper and be supported and guided into, like, how do I even go inside and ask myself those questions? How do I know if it's my voice or someone else's, right? Please reach out to me. I love you all so much, and happy Monday. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, everyone who hopped on. Thanks, Dean. Thank you, 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 thank you.